Don't think, just choose. The moment you analyze, you move away from the truth. Carl Jung warned about this long before personality tests, before labels, before modern psychology tried to explain everything with logic. He understood something far more unsettling. The psyche speaks before reason does, and when it speaks, it does not use words. It uses attraction, repulsion, instinct. Right now, you're about to experience that. In front of you are several colors. They are not symbols. They are not metaphors. They are mirrors. Each one carries a psychological charge that interacts directly with your unconscious. Your task is not to understand them. Your task is to notice which one pulls you. Not the one you like the most, not the one that looks beautiful, not the one that feels right logically, the one that calls you quietly. Jung taught that the unconscious is always compensating for what the conscious mind refuses to see. This is why the choice that feels irrational is often the most honest. Your mind may want one thing, your psyche wants another, and this tension is exactly where truth lives. So pause for a moment. Let your eyes rest. Let your breathing slow. And when one color stands out, without effort, without explanation, stop. That is your choice. Do not change it. What you have just done is bypassed your social mask. You slipped past your self-image. You allowed the unconscious to speak before the ego could interrupt. Most people never allow this to happen. That is why most people never truly know themselves. Jung believed that personality is not what you say you are. It is what you are drawn to when no one is watching. It is revealed in spontaneous decisions, emotional reactions, and moments when thought hasn't yet interfered. This is one of those moments. The color you chose is not random. It reflects a psychological tension you are currently living with, a conflict between who you believe you are and who you are becoming. It exposes patterns, how you relate to control, vulnerability, power, fear, desire, and meaning. And here's the uncomfortable part. Your conscious mind may resist what this reveals. That resistance is not a mistake, it is proof. Jung called this the shadow, the aspects of the self that remain unseen, not because they are evil, but because they threaten the identity you've built. The color you chose touches that shadow. It points to a truth that doesn't need your permission to exist. In the next moments, you'll begin to understand what this color says about your inner structure, how you process life, where you protect yourself, and what you are unconsciously seeking right now. But before we go there, I want you to do something important. In the comments, write this exact phrase and add the color you chose at the end. I didn't think. I chose. Duck. Do not explain. Do not justify. Just choose and commit. This simple act reinforces the psychological decision you just made and anchors the process. Many people will hesitate. That hesitation alone already reveals something. And as we continue, you may notice parts of yourself becoming uncomfortably clear. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. Because when you stop thinking and start choosing, the truth has no place left to hide. If you're still here, it means something inside you stayed alert. That's important. Most people instinctively want reassurance after a choice like this. They want to know if they chose the right color. Jung would say that question alone already misses the point. There is no correct color. There is only your color. And whatever it reveals, it was already there long before this moment. Now understand this. Colors do not define you. They activate what is dormant. Jung believed the psyche is not static. It moves, compensates, and reorganizes itself depending on what is being suppressed or ignored. The color you chose represents the psychological force that is currently most alive inside you, either because you are embodying it strongly or because you are starving for it without realizing. This is why two people can choose the same color for completely different reasons. Your color is not about aesthetics, it is about energy. Some colors pull people who are exhausted from carrying too much responsibility. Others attract those who are hiding anger behind calmness. Some draw in individuals who crave order because chaos has ruled their inner world for too long. Others speak to those who feel invisible and unconsciously long to be seen. Jung called this dynamic compensation. When one part of the psyche dominates for too long, the unconscious pushes back. It whispers through dreams, impulses, and, yes, simple choices like this one. That whisper is never loud. It doesn't argue. It doesn't explain itself. It simply pulls. And that's why I told you not to think. Thinking is how the ego stays in control. Choosing is how the unconscious slips through. Here's something most people don't realize. Your personality is not built from your strengths. It is shaped by the tension between what you allow yourself to be and what you forbid yourself from becoming. The color you chose sits exactly in that tension. If you felt slightly uncomfortable after choosing, that's a sign you touched something real. Comfort usually means familiarity. Truth often brings friction first. Jung warned that when people ignore these signals, life compensates for them in harsher ways. Burnout, anxiety, dissatisfaction, the feeling of being successful but strangely empty. The psyche will always demand balance. If it's not given consciously, it will be taken unconsciously. That's why this is not just a test, it's a diagnostic moment. And now something subtle but powerful is happening. As you listen, your mind is already trying to connect the dots. It's searching your memories, your habits, your patterns. That's good. Awareness is beginning, but don't rush ahead. In the next part, we'll translate your color choice into psychological meaning, not as a label, but as a mirror. You'll start to see how this energy shapes your decisions, your relationships, and the way you move through life without even noticing. Before we continue, take one more quiet second and ask yourself, without answering out loud, what part of me has been trying to speak lately? Whatever came to mind first, that's not accidental. Now we move from instinct to meaning. Not the kind of meaning that boxes you into a type, but the kind that reveals a pattern, the invisible logic behind why you feel drawn to certain situations, people, and decisions, even when they don't make sense on the surface. Jung believed that the psyche organizes itself around symbols long before language arrives. Color is one of the earliest of these symbols. It reaches the nervous system directly, bypassing rational thought. That's why your choice happened faster than explanation. Your mind didn't decide. It recognized. Each color carries a psychological posture toward life. Some reflect how you relate to control, whether you seek it, resist it, or fear losing it. Others reveal your relationship with vulnerability, whether you protect it, deny it, or secretly crave it. Some speak to power, others to safety, others to meaning. What matters most is not what the color means in theory, but what it awakens in you. Ask yourself this quietly. When you imagine that color filling a room, does it calm you, energize you, disturb you, or feel strangely familiar? That emotional reaction is the key. Jung taught that familiarity is often the sign of a dominant psychological function. Discomfort, on the other hand, usually points to a neglected one. The psyche doesn't ask for balance politely. It creates attraction. And when that attraction is ignored, it creates tension. Many people live their entire lives overdeveloping one side of themselves. They become strong, capable, disciplined, yet disconnected, or kind, intuitive, giving, yet unable to assert themselves. The color you chose hints at where that imbalance lives. This is where the ego starts to feel exposed, because if you truly accept what this choice reveals, it means admitting something. You are not fully aligned yet, and that realization can sting. But Jung never saw this as a flaw. He saw it as the beginning of individuation, the process of becoming whole. Not better, not perfect, whole. Wholeness requires integrating what you've avoided. That's why this test works. It doesn't flatter you. It doesn't reassure you. It quietly points to what is asking to be integrated next. And here's the part most people miss. Once something becomes conscious, it can no longer control you from the shadows. Awareness changes the rules. If you felt seen during this process, if certain phrases landed heavier than others, that's not coincidence. It's resonance. The psyche recognizes itself when it's being named. In the final part, we'll bring this full circle. You'll see how to work with what your color revealed instead of fighting it, and how this awareness can subtly change the way you move through life from this point forward. Stay with it, because the truth didn't appear to judge you. It appeared to invite you forward. What you've uncovered here is not a conclusion, it's a doorway. Jung was clear about this. Insight without action changes nothing. Awareness is powerful, but only when it is allowed to reorganize the way you live. Otherwise, it becomes just another interesting thought, something the ego collects and then safely ignores. The color you chose did not reveal who you are in a fixed sense. It revealed who is trying to emerge. This is crucial. Personality is not a static identity, it's a living process. And every time you feel drawn to something without knowing why, your psyche is pointing toward the next stage of your development. The tragedy is that most people feel this pull and then retreat. They explain it away. They stay familiar. They stay safe. Jung warned that when we refuse this inner movement, life itself will force change upon us. Through frustration, through repeated patterns, through the quiet sense that something is missing, even when everything seems fine. But you don't need to wait for that. The color you chose gives you a simple question to carry forward, starting now. Where in my life am I being invited to grow, but still holding back? Not dramatically, not all at once, just honestly. If your color pointed towards strength, perhaps you've been avoiding responsibility you know you're capable of handling. If it pointed towards softness, perhaps you've armored yourself for too long and forgotten how to rest. If it reflected clarity, maybe your life has been ruled by noise and distraction. If it revealed intensity, maybe you've been shrinking to remain acceptable. Whatever it showed you, the work is the same. Integration. Jung believed that when a person begins to integrate what was previously unconscious, their life starts to feel strangely aligned. Decisions become cleaner. Energy returns. Relationships shift, not because the world changed, but because the inner posture did. This is how real change happens, quietly, from the inside out. And here's something important to remember as you move forward. You don't need to become someone else. You need to allow what is already forming within you to take its place. That's why this test mattered. Not because it told you something new, but because it reminded you of something you already knew, but hadn't fully trusted yet. If this resonated, don't let it disappear into the scroll. Write in the comments the same phrase you began with, and complete it honestly. I didn't think, I chose Dishiwichu. And if you want to keep exploring this path of self-understanding, where psychology meets the deeper layers of meaning, stay connected. What you just touched is only one piece of a much larger pattern. The unconscious always speaks first. The question is whether you're finally willing to listen.